Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. I've got Amanda T joining me. Hey, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. Hi, everybody.
You guys, we are so excited to bring you the video. The secret to manifesting that no one ever tells you. And, it's because when I was manifesting, nobody ever actually said this to me. It wasn't until I started reading Neville where I found out about everyone as you pushed out and how that is actually, it's not a technique. You're actually the magic wand. This is actually how it works. It's not something you choose to do or not do. And we've got some really funny, examples to explain how this works. So we're definitely going to dive into that. Just before I do, guys, Amanda is having 50% off for coaching right now. She's absolutely amazing. Her clients get lots of results. And guys, we do have a free course, how to identify your blocks to manifest anything fast. It's going to be able to help you identify what thought patterns are serving you and what thought patterns are not. Okay, so definitely check out the link in the description and sign up for it. Also, when you're on that mailing list, if you want to stay on it, that's great because our coaches send out free intentions to you guys there. So definitely check that out. So yes, let's dive into it. So exciting.
Yes. Okay, let's see where to begin. So I'm going to start this by telling everybody about the time I and someone else won $1 billion lottery. So, one day, you guys, I really wanted to win the lottery. That's not normal for me. I guess I was having a fed up day. I was washing my own dishes again. You know how you do. And I decided that I wanted to win a lottery. And at first it was actually kind of small. I remember, and then I was like, no, I'm going to need $1 billion. Here's the kicker. What for? I had no idea. I couldn't decide what I wanted. Would I get a plane? Well, I don't like my carbon footprint being that big. Should I get an island? But what I actually started doing, and it probably looked crazy because it was a nice, beautiful, long manifestation. I just like stared at the floor and went with it. I imagined buying my parents a beautiful home in New Zealand with like floor to ceiling windows overlooking the ocean, paying my father's medical costs and setting my brother up with a house and then calling the pitbull and parolees people and saying, I want to set you up everywhere. I love what you do. And of course, I picked Montana because they've got cheap land there. It was a little detailed, right? And nothing really for me. Ooh, the house from Match Point. Love. I was going to buy that. But that was really it. And I thought, that's great. It's beautiful. And I kind of just wrapped it up and went about my day. And then I kept getting this feeling, this intuition, it just kept saying I should go to Auburn, which is a city about an hour away from you guys. Go to Auburn, buy a lottery ticket. And I'm talking myself out of it. Why would I drive an hour out of my way to go buy a lottery ticket? Buy one down the street. No, you can't buy one down the street. Inspired action is saying go to Auburn. It's been weeks of every once in a while hearing this. And then I go like, who would I be if I didn't work for my money and stuff like that? A couple weeks later, I go get a new puppy down by the border. I'm driving back up to my place and I literally stop in the Fred Meyer's parking lot at that particular city in Auburn. And I'm going to the McDonald's, we're going to the bathroom and stuff like that. And I'm right there and buy a lottery ticket. Just buy a lottery ticket. It's 10 o'clock at night. I decide not to do it. The Powerball $1 billion lotto comes. You guys can Google this, look it up. There was a man, I think he retired from Boeing or worked from Boeing, and he decided to go to Auburn because he had a feeling that is where he would win $1 billion Powerball ticket. And he did. He really did. And I said, you stole my lottery.
I know, when everything in our 4D is what goes out to our 3D. So here's another really, it's maybe a funny example. I'm going to say it's a funny example because it was about me in my amateur comedian days. So I used to be a professional amateur comedian. I did enjoy it, but one thing I will say, guys, everyone seems to like, not everyone, but people have been like, oh, failed comedian, she's not doing it anymore. I did stop because I didn't like the hours. You have to work evenings and weekends, and I just don't. I want to be the one at the show, okay, not the one on stage, right? So if comedians worked like Monday through Friday like 9 to 5, then sign me up, but unfortunately they don't. So I didn't enjoy the nightlife, so to speak, right? So anyway, so So long story short, what I would do when I was doing these comedies, like doing the comedy shows and writing jokes, is I would be in my home and I'd be like writing jokes all by myself and I wouldn't tell anybody about them. And then all of a sudden I'd be like at a professional amateur like comedy dungeon, right, where we go hang out and test jokes on each other and hang out together. And people would be doing my jokes. They would be doing my jokes, not word for word, but the context of them. I'd be like, darn it, I just wrote the joke just like that. Because everyone, as you pushed out, when you're focusing on something, it's radiating out into the entire world. When you're intending, you know, when I was intending that Andrew would propose to me, I saw people getting proposed to everywhere. Because you're radiating out, you're putting it out, you're constantly, you're like, everyone as you pushed out, you are a like broadcasting beacon, okay, as Neville puts it in Prayer, the Art of Believing, chapter 5, Thought Transmission. You are a radio transmitter just pushing out these signals, your thoughts, vibrations to everybody, and everybody's picking up on it. And this is why people say, don't wish ill onto others, because you could be manifesting it for yourself. If you're manifesting yourself to win $1 billion, you're manifesting it for others. If you're writing a joke for yourself, everyone else is going to pick up on it. That's just the way that this is. That's the secret to it, is everyone's you pushed out. They're constantly overhearing your thoughts. You may need to get a tinfoil hat.
That's it. You know, my son's made two.
Sorry, we were talking about tinfoil hats earlier, but you know, I mean, I joke, you know, it's like to Andrew, it's like, get out of my head. Do I need to put a tinfoil hat on? The other day, I was like sitting there and I was thinking something, and he was like, and he said it, and I'm like, you know, seriously, there's like nothing in my head is private from the rest of the world, you know, like, who am I going to talk to about this? Where's my tinfoil hat? Like, you know, can I have just one thought that somebody's not going to pick up on here, please? And the answer is no.
You know, the first time I saw a coach is because I was manifesting for something, and I was like, who is this woman with my name who looks like me who just took my vacation? Like, how did I do that? I don't, like, I was very clearly in there, that manifestation on that cruise. I don't know, you know,
Right?
but, you know, I had sent it out, and at that right time, that's what happened. And, you know, that I like I have this one like $1 billion idea of mine that I'm not anywhere ready to do yet. And I have it written down, and I'm like, I'm never going to think about it because I'm so afraid I'll be like flipping through and it'll be like some new person on TikTok. And now I've said it.
No, you do say. You say, I intend that nobody ever gets my $1 billion idea. I actually started doing that with my comedy as well. I started intending that any new joke that I created would be mine and mine alone, and nobody would ever think it up. So I actually, so you can create your own rules within that, right? The point is here, right, is, you know, and just because, you know, he won your $1 billion ticket, you're like, well, that doesn't mean, you know, that's only once, it could be twice. The same with the vacation. You know, we can make those mean, you know, signs and birds before land, that because, okay, they got it, now I'm getting it. Like, it's getting pushed out. You know, I don't know how many clients I would have when I did coaching come and tell me, say, Amanda, you know what, I've been intending for my SP to say that they loved me and asked me to marry them. And then, you know what, I went to the pub and some drunk guy did. And it's like, yeah, well, you know, and what's happening there is, you know, you're putting it out there, you're focusing on it, but you got to block with Jerry, right? But the universe, your subconscious mind, okay, because there is nobody out in the universe calling the shots, your subconscious mind has to fulfill parts of that at least, okay? The Jerry part may be blocked, but it's like, wait a minute, I can still get someone to propose to you and confess that they madly love you. You didn't say it didn't have to be a stranger. You wanted that. So your subconscious mind will take pieces of what you're manifesting and it'll separate them for you, right? So that's why if you're focusing on getting a proposal from Jerry, you may notice it on your favorite TV show, because proposal still has to show up in your reality. It may not show up from Jerry yet because you may have other blocks, because your subconscious mind is very intricate and it doesn't forget anything.
Absolutely. And that's such a great point, because you know what? It's actually a great sign, you guys. If you're watching, you know, if you're watching this right now, look at what's happening in your 3D. If you want it, it's happening for everyone around you. You know, you have a block, just you're so close. You're right there. That's why it's happening for everyone around you. Get a coach, get rid of that block, and get what you want. It's a huge sign. In fact, I told a client the other day, I was like, I pay attention to signs, but I don't pay attention to signs, because unless it's in my hands, I'm not saying, oh, look, they got it, that means it's for me too. No, I know there's a disconnect there. That's actually my red flag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And it's not a big deal. Like, it really isn't. It's not a big deal. It's just to say to you, hey, you know what? You need to clean up something with your story there, because you know what? You're not getting it yet. There's a reason why you're not getting it yet. And it's not a big deal. You just look at it and you just change your story, right? As easy as that. I think the other thing with everyone as you pushed out is to not blame yourself. Please don't blame yourself, guys. This is just, you don't have to, you know, so you manifest something to happen in your reality, okay? Don't blame yourself, because that's only now taking it personally and adding another layer of story. You know, you don't even need to believe in everyone as you pushed out to manifest. You just need to change your story about whatever it is in your reality, right? Just know that whatever you're focusing on and putting out there, you're going to get back in, and all of your thoughts are going to stick like Post-it notes to everything. So, you know, like for instance, we do videos here and we do intentions for our videos, you know, that everybody that watches them is going to get results and they're going to love it. It's going to resonate with them. We're going to change people's lives. You know, everybody watching this video is totally going to have an aha moment, and they're going to manifest something wonderful and comment. And, you know, and we stick those Post-it notes to things. And, you know, it's the same thing with people. You know, when, you know, you've got thoughts, you put the Post-it notes on them, and you've got to rewrite that story, right?
Absolutely. And the Post-it note is just, I've always loved that example, because I think I actually heard it before I was a coach, you guys saying it. And I remember it just resonating with me so much, because I can literally see like the Post-it notes and covering things up and how that works so perfectly. And, you know, that's why you'll see, you know, some hot and cold things, or, you know, you just got to keep going a little bit, and, you know, you guys can get there. But really, no, don't blame yourself that, you know, I created this. So, you know, I almost said acceptable. I didn't mean it that way. Of course it's acceptable, but I mean, like, I created it. So, you know, even though I'm upset about it, it's okay. Like, you can still have those emotions, and, you know, you don't have to take it personally. There's creating, and you're working towards a goal. So as long as you keep working on it, you're going to get there. And it, you know, just be kind to yourself and give yourself some grace, and don't be so harsh, and, you know, follow that intuition, or the infinite. What am I trying to say? What's that word?
Inspired action.
Thank you.
Well, so I'm so glad you brought that up, because I wrote it down to talk about.
Everyone is you pushed out.
Right? This is it, right? So, you know, we also get a lot of, you know, questions about inspired action. And here's my take on it. Okay. You absolutely control everything in your reality. Your thoughts do, your beliefs, you know, your assumptions. So is there anything that's really inspired? Absolutely not. I mean, there's nobody out there going, this is divine timing. This is what, you know, you're in control of all that timing. You're in control of that. So I would say, like, inspired action is any like nudge that you got to do anything without a lot of overthinking. Now, if you're like, you know, so I would call it your intuition, because your intuition is just really a physical feeling of your sum total of your thoughts and beliefs, right? But if, you know, you're trying to pull this off as inspired action, trying to like meddle and mess with something to manipulate it to get it your way. I mean, you know, is that going to work? Well, I mean, if you intend it works, but I mean, that's not really inspired action. You know, it's like, for instance, you know, this one time actually.
That's moving energy. Oh, I'm sorry. I totally interrupted. I was just so excited. Doesn't that seem like the hard way to do it? Oh, I'm going to do this thing, and then I'll say it's inspired. And it's like all that energy. First I do the thing, then I say it's inspired, and then I'm manifesting. That's layer upon layer upon layer, when all you really needed to do was trust that you can manifest this thing anyways. And done.
Exactly. And inspired action, you really only notice it after the fact, kind of like the bridge of incidents as well. Like, you know, there's been times, okay, so for instance, what was it? It was something was happening. Anyways, Andrew canceled on me, and that was fine. So then I went out with my friends, and another manifestation that I was looking to get actually happened that night. without with my friends at the pub. So, you know, was it inspired action when Andrew canceled for me to go to the pub with my friends? I don't know. I mean, I had an urge to, so I just went with it. It wasn't a lot of overthinking. Now, in hindsight, I would look at it and been like, yeah, that's inspired action. I don't think anybody knows what inspired action is until after the fact, just like a bridge. Like, you don't know what your bridge of incidences are until after the fact, but then you create it. So if you create, look at, I'm going to say this and do this and it's going to work, well, then it is going to work, right? So, but you know, so there, some people might argue by doing it from lack or whatever, but like, you know, is there really anything from lack? You know, at the end of the day, we create from lack. You know, we look at something we don't have and say that we want it. So, you know, I guess really it would be like, what state are you in? Are you in the powerful God state, you know, knowing and believing that you are in control of this? Or are you coming from a place of victimhood, right?
Absolutely. You know, and I actually have a great example. I had a client recently, excuse me. And I said I was like, that's your intuition. That was a great moment. So make sure you do it again. She was driving on the highway and she had a thought that she should go to this particular restaurant, kind of like I did, you guys, with my SP at the Taco Bell. Like there was 2 in between my house. And it was just like, you should go to this one. I mean, it's almost a whisper. It's barely there. But I just thought, okay, you know, it's like, I wasn't paying attention, like she said.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she has this feeling, I should go to this restaurant. I feel like SP will be there. And again, like me with the lottery, she ended up driving down the highway and then going home and later finding out he was there. So you go, you know, blah, blah, blah. You can't lose anything by following the inspired action, although it's all created and whatever. It just makes it sound easier to understand and comprehend if you say it that way, you know?
Exactly. Actually, there was another example just recently. I was at a baseball game and I've got like this whole entire thing where I always get free stuff. Like I constantly get free stuff and coupons. And, you know, and Andrew said, well, let's walk around the whole entire stadium. And usually I would be like, no way. Like, are you kidding? But I was like, yeah, you know what? I will. Like he said it. I agreed. And then, you know what? We got like 12 free fry coupons. Okay. Like they gave us like a whole pile. Like, I mean, okay, just don't tell anybody, but I'm giving away free fry coupons for Christmas to my family. Like, cause I got so many of the things, right? Like McCain's fries, right? So anyway, but like, you know, it comes in any way, like the inspired action there, always to agree with him to something I probably wouldn't normally agree with, you know. Because the game was starting. Not because I'm lazy, but the game was starting. I wanted to get situated, but I was like, yeah, what the hell? You know what? We're here anyway. Let's go ahead and, walk around. I like baseball because I like to watch it. But the funny thing is even when I'm watching, I still miss everything, but I want to sit through the whole thing and watch it. You know, it's like you look up for 1 second at the Jumbotron and people are like, oh, and you're like, oh man, what did I miss? It's here the whole time, but you know, it's those little nudges. But again, you know, it's like not overthink this. It's always hindsight's always 20/20, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. And give yourself grace with hindsight, guys. It's, you know, the other opportunity is going to come up. You're just going to keep affirming, and you know, maybe you won't get the nudge this time, but it'll just show up at your door. Exactly. One way or another, it's coming in. So don't worry about it too much or at all.
Exactly, right? You know, remind yourself, you know, when things happen, when I'm thinking it and then Andrew says it, I have a moment where I'm like, why do I ever worry about anything? Like, honestly, why? You know, like in those moments, it's like, it's so surreal, it's magical, right? So, you know, like I say, create that little list of little tiny manifestations, because the more you can make this happen in your life, the quicker you're going to manifest really anything, right? So
absolutely 100%.
Well, another fun video, guys. Let's take a picture of our tinfoil hats and send it to each other, because I know some days I want to make one.
I'm doing it right after this. Look on the YouTube when this video posts.
Right. I tell you, you know.
I gotta keep my thoughts to myself, you know. They're so precious.
Exactly. So guys, you know what? I mean, send love for yourself and for others. Be easy on yourself and never look at anything as a failure, but an opportunity to actually speed up your manifestation. So thank you so much for being here today, Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda. Have a good day, everybody.
And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.